Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings for Thursday, December the 15th. We got a shorter Thursday slate, little 4-game slate tonight, but we're going to go game by game, guys. I'm going to give you guys my quick thoughts on this 4-game slate, what I do like, taking a first look on Wednesday night. As always though, before we get started with the breakdown, if you do enjoy these DFS videos, please hit that like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, you have not checked out the sponsor of the video, check out PrizePicks. They are the sponsor. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code Noah. You look at the bottom of the screen. When you do sign up for PrizePicks with my promo code, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. For those of you that are new, you've never heard about PrizePicks, they're basically a player prop site. So you're taking more or less, you're taking over or under on a player's projection. And as you can see, they do already have stuff posted for Thursday's games. You can see what's available right now. If you check the board again sometime on Thursday, late Thursday afternoon, you'll see the full board posted with a ton of different props from pretty much every game for just about every player. And if you see any lines you like, you just take more or less. You have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 6 picks. You can win up to 25x your money. You can also mix and match sports on PrizePicks. And since it is Thursday night, we do have Thursday night football. We got the Seahawks and 49ers playing. So if you want to find some NBA plays, find some NFL plays from that Thursday night football game and make an entry with all those picks, you can do that. You can mix and match sports on PrizePicks. So give them a try, guys. If you haven't signed up for PrizePicks yet, use that promo code Noah when you sign up, and you will get your first deposit match up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through this little 4-game slate for Thursday night, and we'll start off with the first game of the night, the Bucks and the Grizzlies. This should be a fun one. Two pretty exciting teams, two obviously superstar players, and Giannis and John Morant going up against each other. We'll start off on the Milwaukee side. So for Milwaukee, we did see Jrue Holiday sit out last game, and Jrue Holiday has already been ruled out once again for today. So without Jrue Holiday, we can expect a bigger role for Giannis, a bigger role for Chris Middleton. Giannis is $12,200. He's pretty expensive. He didn't have the best game last game without Jrue, but he took 26 shots. He only played 30 minutes. He did lose some minutes due to blowout. He was still relatively productive though, had 56 Draftkings points. I think Giannis is clearly one of the best pay-up options today. It's just a matter of what kind of value are we going to get on this slate. We could get some value that opens up because there are some teams on back-to-backs today. We could definitely see some guys get rested, which we'll talk about later. So there could be some value, and if value does open up, I definitely would like to pay up for Giannis if I can. Now, I think right now, if I had to build lineups right now, it's kind of tough to fit Giannis because there isn't a ton of value. But as you know, as you got all guys, all you guys know with NBA, value can open up just like that. So I definitely think Giannis is a strong option regardless. I think Chris Middleton at 6,800 looks kind of appealing. Now, Middleton, last game was not great. Only finished with 29.5 DK points. He played 29 minutes. But we should expect him to pick up a bigger role without Jrue Holiday. I think his minutes are just going to slowly start to increase as he gets more, just more playing time. He gets, more rhythm going. I think 29 minutes was kind of like, maybe his floor. I feel like 30-32 is more likely here. He did get pulled a little bit early in that game due to blowout. So I think 30-32 minutes is pretty likely from Middleton. Now, he's not that cheap. He's 6,800. Obviously, in 30-32 minutes, you're going to need Middleton to be relatively productive to pay off this price tag. But I could definitely see a scenario where Middleton plays 30 minutes and puts up 40 Draftkings points. So I think Middleton is still viable today, even though his price tag came up a little bit. Still have some interest in him. The rest of Milwaukee, though, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis. I think Bobby Portis kind of looks appealing here. He had a huge game last game without Jrue. He had a big double-double, 42 Draftkings points. He played 32 minutes. Look, we know Bobby Portis is a really good per-minute producer, and obviously taking Jrue Holiday off the floor just opens up more usage, opens up more minutes, kind of just for everyone. And we saw Portis be a big beneficiary last game. So I think Portis at 6,200 is kind of appealing. He was really low-owned last slate. He definitely won't be as low-owned today. But I'm still interested in him. I don't know if Brook Lopez's role changes too much. He's not a guy that's going to really take a ton of shots anyway. So at 5,800, I'm not super interested in Brook Lopez here. But we do have some value from Milwaukee that we could go to. We did see Javon Carter start last game in place of Jrue Holiday. He played 28 minutes. He wasn't very productive. He only had 19 Draftkings points. We've seen Javon Carter have some really big games this season, but a lot of his big games came whenever Jrue and Giannis and Middleton were all out. So when he's playing with Middleton, when he's playing with Giannis, Javon Carter is not going to be nearly as productive on a per-minute basis. So he's not a guy that I'm super excited about. He was really, really cheap last slate. He was 3,300. Today he's 4,300, so yeah, 4,300. I'm not like running to roster Javon Carter. I think he's like okay, but don't love him. Same goes for Grayson Allen. He should get a little boost without Drew. He's playable, but I don't love him at 4,600. Pat Connaughton didn't play a ton last game. He only played 19 minutes. He's like a GBP dart throw if you want to go there. I think most nights Connaughton's probably going to play like 24, 25 minutes. A little bit weird to see him only play 19 last game. Again, he's like a GBP dart throw. Now on the other side with Memphis, I think Ja Morant at 10,400 definitely looks appealing here. It's not the best spot against Milwaukee. Milwaukee's defense has been pretty good overall this season. They've been one of the better defensive teams. But I think losing Drew Holiday definitely makes this a slightly better matchup for Ja. Javon Carter is not like the worst defender by any means. He's actually a pretty good defender. But I think Ja Morant's one of these guys that can win in any matchup, and not having Drew out there is definitely good for Ja. So at 10-4, I do have some interest in Ja today. He should obviously have a really big usage rate, really big role while Desmond Bane remains out. The rest of Memphis, though, I'm not super interested in really anyone else. Triple J, Dylan Brooks, these guys all feel priced about right with Ja back. Obviously, Ja was out last game. Steven Adams, 5,200, not super interested in. It's just, outside of Ja, there's not a ton that I love on Memphis. So I think we can go ahead and move on to the next game, talk about Miami and Houston. And this is one of the games where we could get some value for today. So we haven't gotten any update yet on Miami. We actually did get word that Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, and Oladipo are all uncertain to play. That was the report that we got from Underdog. So we're going to have to keep an eye on Miami. This is a back-to-back for Miami. They won a pretty close game against OKC on Wednesday night. I think there's a good chance that we could see Bam, Lowry, and Oladipo sit today. I think Jimmy Butler is going to play. Jimmy Butler did not play Wednesday, but it was for injury management. So I'm guessing Jimmy Butler will play today. So I think we're going to see Jimmy Butler play. I think we're going to see Tyler Hero play. And I think we're going to see Bam, Lowry, and Oladipo sit. So if that's the case, if Bam sits, if Lowry sits, and then Hero and Butler play, I think Butler and Hero look really, really good here. I mean, it's obviously a great matchup against Houston. These guys will definitely pick up bigger roles if Bam and Lowry are out. Butler would be the number one option on offense. 8,700 would definitely be too cheap for him. And it's a fantastic matchup for Tyler Hero. We've seen guards be able to kill Houston this season. Houston's just been giving up a ton of points to the guard position in general. The 8K price tag feels about right for Hero, but obviously if Bam and Lowry wind up sitting, we can expect Hero to pick up a much bigger role, and I would have a lot of interest in him if that happens. But it's kind of a wait and see right now with Miami. It's definitely tough to break down this team right now, just because there is some uncertainty about who's actually going to play here. If we do get no Bam and no Lowry, then there will be some value to go to. I guess they would probably just start like Hero at point guard, and then they probably would throw like, I guess if Bam and Hero or if Bam and Lowry are both out, the starting lineup would probably be Butler, Hero, Caleb Martin, Max Strus, and then probably Dedmon. So that's probably what the starting lineup would be. Strus and Martin, they're both priced about right, 5,300, 4,800. They would become viable cheap plays, if Bam and Lowry are out. And then obviously if Bam's out, I'd assume Dwayne Dedmon would start at center. He's only 3,200. If Dedmon winds up starting at center, he's going to be a pretty good value. So yeah, man, it's kind of tough to break down this Miami team right now. I think we could get some value from Miami today. Looks like Bam has a chance to sit. Looks like Lowry has a chance to sit. Obviously, in a matchup against Houston, this is a game where you could probably give these guys some rest. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But for right now, I'll say that if everyone plays, I think you can sprinkle in Bam, you can sprinkle in Butler, you can sprinkle in Hero. There wouldn't be any core plays, I don't think, coming from Miami if everyone plays. But like I said, I think there's a good chance you're going to see some guys sit here. Now on the other side with Houston, this matchup against Miami is not like the best, but I think if Miami is without Bam and Lowry, that definitely is going to make their defense much weaker. So Kevin Porter Jr. at 7K, Jalen Green at 6,600. I wouldn't mind going to them in tournaments. I don't think either one would be like core plays or optimal plays, but they'd be tournament options. I think if Bam winds up sitting, that would make it a better matchup for Şengün. Şengün at 6,100 definitely has the upside to pay off this price tag. We've seen him play about 30 minutes in competitive games, and if Miami is shorthanded today, obviously that makes it a lot more likely that this game will stay close. There's no core plays coming from Houston, but I think Şengün, Jalen Green, KPJ, these are guys you can consider for GPPs. Even like a Jabari Smith at 5,500, I don't mind. He's been playing pretty well lately, been getting consistent minutes. His price tag's not too expensive. I think he's someone you can still consider. But that's really it for Houston. Obviously, a lot of my interest in this game is coming on the Miami side, and it's really going to depend on who's actually playing for Miami today. I think we're going to see some guys get ruled out here. It's just a matter of who winds up getting ruled out. That'll be kind of what we have to wait and see for. But Let's move on to the next game, talk about the Pelicans and the Jazz. Just saw these teams play a couple days ago. For the Pelicans, you got Zion coming in at 9,800. I think Zion, pretty appealing tournament option. I think for cash games, I would probably say I would want to get to Giannis if I could, but haven't built any lineups yet, so I can't really say what the optimal construction is going to be. But man, Zion in tournaments makes some sense here. It's obviously a good matchup. Utah, in terms of their paint defense, they don't have any good defenders down low. They've given up a lot of points in the paint in general this season. The $9,800 salary is going to keep his ownership low. Zion's not going to project that well at this price tag, so he's someone you can definitely consider for tournaments. I have no issue going to Zion today. I think CJ McCollum at 7,200 still looks kind of appealing. I know he had a down game last game, but we kind of saw him starting to get into a groove against Phoenix. He played 33 minutes, had 36 DK points. Then in that overtime game, he played 45 minutes, had 49 DK points. Without Brandon Ingram, there definitely should be more opportunity for CJ McCollum. He did take 17 shots last game. He just had a pretty poor shooting game. He shot 35% from the field. If McCollum, if he shoots somewhat decent, he's going to get some rebounds. He's going to get some assists as well. The minutes are going to be there. I think, even though he busted last slate, I'm fine going back to CJ McCollum. I think at 7,200, he definitely has the upside to pay off this price tag. And then Jonas Valanciunas, I like a lot in this matchup. I played J-Val in my main lineup last slate. He'll definitely be in consideration for me again today. 5,400 is really cheap for J-Val. The minutes have been all over the place, but last game he did get into foul trouble. He had 5 fouls in just 19 minutes, and I think he was actually on pace to play pretty decent minutes before he got in foul trouble. So I think we get 25, 28 minutes from J-Val today, barring foul trouble or blowout or anything like that. And Utah, they've been a really bad defensive team against centers this season. They've been really bad rebounding. This is a matchup that J-Val should have a lot of success in. Obviously, he was productive last game. He just didn't play a ton of minutes. I think we could see his minutes come up today as long as he can avoid foul trouble. The price tag's really low, so I definitely am interested in J-Val. And that's probably it from the Pelicans. Trey Murphy at 5K, I think is just kind of like a GPP option. I know he had a really poor shooting game last game, shot 0 for 7. He's someone you could definitely take a shot on in GPPs, but I don't love him on this slate. And that's really it from New Orleans. Now on the other side with Utah, Lauri Markkanen's 8,100. Don't love him at that price tag. Jordan Clarkson is 7,100. Don't love him at that price tag. Honestly, there's not a ton that stands out from Utah today. We saw Jared Vanderbilt have a massive game last game in fairly low minutes. He put up 49 DraftKings points in just 23 minutes, had a double-double with 6 assists. That type of production you just can't expect to happen again. So I'm not really going to chase that Vanderbilt game. Mike Conley, his minutes have kind of been, somewhat kept in check lately. He did play 29 minutes last game, though, and that was with it being a blowout. So, if this game's close, we might get over 30 minutes from Mike Conley. Mike Conley's not a guy that I play too often in DFS. He just doesn't offer a ton of upside. But the price tag is pretty low, and, for 30-plus minutes from Conley, he could definitely pay off this price tag. So, honestly, if I had to play anyone on Utah today, I think Mike Conley might be my favorite guy to go to. But I don't love much on this Jazz team. Most of my interest in this game is, coming on the Pelican side. But that'll do it for that one. Let's go ahead and talk about the last game of the night, the Suns and the Clippers. So this is another game where we could definitely have some value that opens up. Right now, Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton are both questionable for the Suns, and then we still have no Cam Johnson, no Cameron Payne as well. So with Devin Booker questionable, with DeAndre Ayton questionable, there's definitely going to be some guys to go to here if they wind up sitting. So obviously Chris Paul would take on a much bigger role if Devin Booker got ruled out. Paul had a solid game last game without Booker, played 38 minutes, had 39 DraftKings points. Price tag came way up. Obviously 6,200 last slate. Paul was basically a free square, I thought, at 6,200. That was just a price tag it was really hard to get away from. Now at 8,200, even if Booker gets ruled out, I'm not going to be slamming Chris Paul into my lineups at this salary, but I think he would still be a pretty good option, and he would definitely be a viable play. And then, if DeAndre Ayton winds up getting ruled out, I guess you would either see one of Bismack Biyombo or Jock Landale start at center. Whichever one starts is the one that I would like for value. Probably would be Biyombo. I think last time that Ayton was out, we saw Biyombo start, and Biyombo did get 22 minutes last game after Ayton went down. So keep an eye on that news. This is a 10:30 game. It's the last game on the slate. I don't know when we're going to get news on Booker and Ayton. Hopefully we get it before lock. But yeah, you're going to have to pay attention here, and be ready to make some changes potentially after lock if we don't have news yet on Ayton and Booker. Now, if Ayton and Booker both play, then I really don't like a ton on those Suns. Obviously Paul got priced up. Ayton's kind of been priced up. Bridges has kind of been priced up. These guys would all be priced about right if Booker and Ayton come back. So I probably, for the most part, would be full fading Phoenix if everyone is in. I think if Booker winds up sitting, if Ayton winds up sitting, then it gets really interesting. Then there's going to be guys worth targeting here. CP3, Bridges, maybe Torrey Craig you could go to, and then the value centers would be in consideration. And even guys like Josh Okogie and Landry Shamet, these guys would be viable. I know Okogie got some good minutes last game and he was pretty productive, so he could be in consideration if Booker gets ruled out. These are definitely guys you could take a shot on in GPP. But talking about the other side with the Clippers, so the Clippers, they are also on a back-to-back today. They're one of the 2 teams on a back-to-back. I'm guessing we're going to see some guys get ruled out for the Clippers, probably Kawhi Leonard. That might be it. The Clippers do tend to rest guys on back-to-backs, but John Wall sat out on Wednesday, so he should play today. John Wall should be back, but I'm expecting Kawhi to sit. I don't think Kawhi has played on a back-to-back yet this season, and I'm pretty sure he's going to sit on every back-to-back. So without Kawhi, we should obviously expect Paul George to take on a really big role, but I don't love the matchup against Phoenix. He's going to definitely see Mikal Bridges here, and that's a tough matchup in general. Bridges is a really strong defender. Paul George has been playing a lot better lately. His production has been spiking up, but I don't love him on the slate, even with Kawhi expected to be out. The rest of the Clippers, like John Wall at 5,600, he should get a little boost with Kawhi out, but they've been keeping a minutes limit on John Wall. He's not going to play more than 28, 30 minutes. I don't think he's hit 30 minutes yet this season, so that really kind of caps his ceiling when he's kind of on a little bit of a minutes limit. So I'm not in love with Wall. Zubac at 5,300, he actually saw his minutes get really cut on Wednesday night. Recording this video as that game is going on, the Timberwolves and the Timberwolves-Clippers game, and Zubac actually did not start the second half. Now that might have just been matchup based. They might have just been trying to go small to counteract with Rudy Gobert. But obviously it's a little bit concerning that Zubac's minutes have kind of been trending down lately. Not a guy that I'm super interested in today, but we know Zubac is one of these guys that when he does get the minutes, he can produce, and obviously the price tag has come down. The matchup would definitely get better for him if Ayton got ruled out, but I'd be worried about the Clippers just kind of going small and just taking Zubac off the floor, which they clearly have no issue doing. And then the rest of the Clippers, Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris, if Kawhi winds up sitting, these guys become playable options, but I wouldn't be running to roster them at their salaries. I think they feel priced about right. I'm guessing you would see maybe Terrence Mann or Nicholas Batum start in place of Kawhi. Whichever one starts would be an okay value. But I don't love much on the Clippers today. This is not a team I'm super interested in. Most of my interest in this game is coming on the Phoenix side, and it's definitely going to be a team worth targeting if Devin Booker and or DeAndre Ayton get ruled out. But that'll do it, guys. That'll do it for this 4-game Thursday night slate. A little short one, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, man, appreciate you watching. Hit that like button if you guys did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you guys are new to the channel, you have not checked out the sponsor of the video, check out PrizePicks. They're the sponsor. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code NOAH. Also, if you click the link in the description, that'll take you straight to the PrizePicks site where you can sign up there. But you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And PrizePicks, again, they're a player prop site, so you're just taking more or less on a player's projection. Very simple, easy to use. You have to make at least 2 picks. You can make up to 6 picks, though, and you can win up to 25x your money on PrizePicks. So give them a try. If you guys haven't yet, sign up with that promo code, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But best of luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video, supporting the content. Appreciate you guys a ton. We will see you in the next one.